Hello, guys, and welcome to this bonus episode of Halo Wars, in which case I'll be showcasing Sergeant Ford's in a skirmish match. So, without any. Actually, I forgot. So, it's gonna show off what Sergeant Ford's has. His unique unit is Cyclops. It's a primary building killer, just like a Locust. And Sergeant Ford's is only gonna see that has a building killer. Um, your power is Harper Bomb, which I've mentioned throughout the Let's Play so far. His super unit is a Grizzly, which I also do believe I mentioned. And the bonus he gets for being Sergeant Ford's is he builds heavy supply pads right away. Now that has an advantage, but also kind of a disadvantage. The advantage pretty much is that you start out with a heavy supply pad and you get more resources flowing in, but kind of the disadvantage of you having I mean, the disadvantage of getting the heavy supply pads is the fact that, what was that? You kind of dip into, I guess, kind of a economic struggle for more resources at the beginning, but after a certain point, you kind of flourish and you get like a lot of resources. So that's definitely a positive from being the Sergeant Forge. Also, this is kind of a nice little setup you can get going is by building for heavy supply pads off at the start, and I'll kind of be showing you guys why I do that. Wow, that is really weird. So, two good chieftains and what was it? I think the prophet. So, pretty much what I have is kind of what I said for heavy supply pads, and then build a reactor. And we're just gonna pretty much be sitting here playing the waiting game until the supply pad comes up. I mean, reactor. And just like in any other kind of game mode, just sit there and look for supplies. That's pretty much the only thing you can do while you wait. No, I think it's maybe not. I was gonna say I think that's the safe building where you can grab these resources without having to worry about the turret attacking you. But I guess not. So let's keep on looking for some resources. That's, oh boy, this is gonna be fun. And actually, one thing to kind of mention is one thing I kind of like about Sergeant Forge is I'd like to say he's kind of flexible at the start where uh, you can either go for your Scorpion tanks or you could go for Hornets. And you might be kind of wondering why I say Hornets. Well, for me personally, I kind of found that if you do build Hornets, you can kind of get them out pretty fast. You can get about max population in probably want to say like 7 minutes, but that's also kind of probably with like the first maybe no upgrades at all. But you do kind of have to realize that even though you don't have any, you might not get the upgrades for the Hornets, it's still pretty good to even use that because depending on who you're playing against, Hornets kind of proved to be a beneficial factor, and by that I kind of mean it'd be good to build Hornets if you're, say, up against any forge users or people that use tanks or race, locusts, anything like that. So yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind. And chances are you might see me do that when I upload a multiplayer video of me playing as Sergeant Forge. Because I do like to pull that pull that stunt every now and then on multiplayer, depending on who I'm playing against. And most of the time it actually works out pretty nicely too. So as you can kind of see here, the reason that you build a actor first is so you can upgrade it to the second tech, and then with that you can build your tanks right away. And with the tanks being built first, and then that, I can't even think what I was trying to say. But you're pretty much double pumping tanks out, and you can get tanks out faster that way, and it can actually prove kind of beneficial for you. But what was I going to say? Making an advanced reactor first before you upgrade, it saves you the time from actually building a second, what was it? A second reactor, and kind of wasting all the time you have to, not all the time, but not being able to double pump tanks out faster, and then you can't really you're kind of having a problem. What was it? Getting population out and everything like that. Just kind of sitting there stuttering, can't really figure out what I was trying to mean or say. But come on, man. What does it take for you to use your warthog? So like I said, you kind of want to go around the building and just kind of take out the turrets first. And then once you kill off the turrets, you can go for the main base, because it'll kind of be helpful for you to actually do that. And also, one thing I do want to kind of say is, one thing I kind of like to do with Forge is, depending on how fast I kind of develop, if I'm kind of slow behind and I'm just usually now getting up to my 15 population. If you're kind of running behind and you have like 15 population about now or a little while back, one thing you can do to help you out is build a second base so you can get some more supplies, and it kind of does help you out, even though that kind of puts you back a bit. But it definitely will give you kind of a economic boom later on. But then again, that's what kind of Forge seems to do best. It's kind of getting an economic boom from everything. So pretty much like after, well, I guess even if you are kind of ahead, I guess it's kind of your call when you want to actually build a secondary base. But like I said, I kind of like to build a secondary base if I'm running slow behind, and only at like half the population cap for your beginner level. But even then, you could kind of choose to um, go for a secondary base even sooner or later, depending on how you look at it. You know. But yeah, with that, I'm actually gonna sit here and make some more heavy supply pads. Gonna make 4 more, and then with that, I'm gonna be. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think I saw hunters, and that is not looking good for me. And I'm just talking about only me. Weird. So, personally, however you choose to set up your secondary base, it doesn't matter much, but I pretty much kind of go the same setup I did on my main base, so, well, almost the same identical setup I did on the main base, but yeah, I will kind of change it from the 2 factories to barracks and field armory, just so. Oh, what was it? The field armory, I can get a population increase, pretty much all that good stuff. And also, when I have the population, not the population increase, but when I get the, what am I trying to think? Oh, when I get the barracks, I can sit there and kind of build 3 spawns and put them in the tanks I'm using. Also, you can kind of use Spartans right off the bat and kind of have them move around and take out bases for you instead of doing tanks like I'm doing. It would actually probably be more useful if you actually did do Spartans first to kind of just clear out the area, since they actually kind of seem easier to get stars and they're actually not gonna kind of attack the base and kill it off in like a couple of shots. So I guess that is kind of one way to look at it, but you also can get some tanks out for the storms going sooner or later, because if you're kind of ill prepared for an attack, that kind of throws you off. So it's always good to have some tanks on the ready for when you get attacked, but you also have to make sure that you're ahead of the enemy. But for some reason, I feel like I'm talking random nonsense right now. Yeah, this army I can actually take out because the hunters aren't anti-infantry, so that's good for me. And also, one thing I do with forge is when I get population increase, some forges, or probably a majority of them, will sit there and just go for more scorpion tanks. But the one thing that kind of screws them over, I like to say, is that if there's an Anders or something like that, then they're kind of vulnerable to the air, so it kind of puts them at a disadvantage. So one thing I like to do with my forges is sit there and build the next 10 population increase that I get from the reinforcements. I like to make some Wolverines just for the incident if someone does build air. So then I can have the Wolverines in the mix with the tanks so that they're kind of more secured instead of out there in kind of bones. but that's just my kind of way of doing it. Some people might not choose to do it just because they like the tanks and their kind of powerhouses. But honestly, most of the time when I meet tanks with, I can't even think, but when I meet tanks with either Banshees or hell, even Hornets, they will usually get destroyed. So that's just kind of my friendly advice about it. Some people might take it, some people might not, but it definitely helps out. And I guess they never wanted to tell me that they've been attacked. So I guess I'm gonna kind of fall back and take care of this. Let me go kill this Brood Chieftain. Since he's gonna probably be a nuisance. And remember what I told you about the Brood Chieftain? You gotta watch out for him, his club, because he can stun you. And that can be devastating to have that problem. And I'm gonna take these here and kind of retreat them so that I can put a heal on them. Oh, there's our Arbiter. I was like, I can hear the Arbiter's rage, but I can't see it. So after I get this done, I'm gonna have to go and kind of save their base. I'm gonna put the destruction bomb down in the corner so you can't hurt them anymore. And then after this, I'm gonna get that. And then I have to kind of take care of this Arbiter before he does rage. And we're gonna have to put a heal down away from the destruction bomb, or else it's gonna just not gonna do anything. See, and look at that, I'm building air, so it's a pretty good idea that what was it? It was a pretty good idea that I built Wolverines. Alright, so I'm gonna upgrade some Grizzlies when I can. And also, one note about Scorpion tanks and Grizzlies, I have heard that you're better off keeping your tanks as Scorpions, since they kind of do more damage, even though that when they become Grizzlies they have a damage increase. I really don't even pay attention to that, so I can't really say if it's true or not. So just kind of an interesting little thing to take note on. And they killed another one of my tanks. Curse them. So we're gonna get the chain gun, and then we're gonna make some Spartans and get ready. And we're gonna have to wipe this out. There's some Grizzlies. Oh. Totally didn't even notice that. So also, kind of after a little while, you could also switch to air to kind of prepare in case you need to switch it up. Since I know some people that like to go strictly tanks and not even switch it up, and it's kind of a disadvantage if you don't switch it up. And well, I guess you can't really say it's a disadvantage if it's working, but sometimes when you keep on attacking over and over again, you're kind of putting yourself at a disadvantage at the risk of the opponent switching it up and you're kind of SOL if they do. And like I said, you're gonna, and if you're kind of going strictly tanks, and yeah. Sorry, for some reason I think I just went on the little rant for some reason. Yeah, and chances are I probably did. So we're gonna get neural implants. Gonna put one of the Spartans inside. No, never mind. I was gonna say we're gonna put one of the Spartans inside the Wolverines just so, in case they do have their, are doing more damage. And let me kind of isolate the herds. What vehicles off to the side. Yeah, I can infer like that. That's one thing I do like about the heal and repair is that it's pretty much easy for it to come back and you can use it again, but I guess it doesn't really matter if you're being attacked or something like that. Alright. So when these guys get nice and healed, I'm gonna go on the offense and kind of push up. And chances are they're probably gonna somewhat lose. Mostly because they probably don't have any air, but yeah, they do have hunters, so I can have to watch out for that. And that is one reason I did say if you switch to air, it can kind of prove beneficial for you because then you're going to have air units that are good against the hunters and all that. And chances are, if you're playing a skirmish, then the bots are going to sit there and switch it up to vampires, and then you're at an advantage because they're switching up, and then you can switch back to ground units, and then it's just going to throw them off. Yeah, I just probably should keep the barracks. So I'm actually going to keep on pushing. Even though that my team doesn't need help over there. Yeah, what was I gonna do? Yeah, let's get the shaft pods. Do need to switch up, but kinda doubt it. And then once we get the 1,000, we're just gonna kind of maintain that base that we just took over. See, and like even the computer cutter will sit there and go tanks, even though I don't even know, even if there is a forge. No, so I guess that's probably where people get the idea of, hey, let's sit here and build tanks after we get ODST. I don't even know why people do it, but I guess it's whatever. Can't really sit there and control them. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's only beneficial if they're actually sitting there building right and laying that base low. But I don't know why. I don't even know where I was going with anything anymore. So that should be one down, and then we're gonna go. So I totally forgot to grab that base. And we're gonna have to take care of this little boots chieftain right here before he does any major damage, but probably isn't. So then we're just gonna attack this, call that good. Once we get the super carpet, we'll probably use that more often. And you gotta watch out for the Arbiter when he goes in rage. Just because he's kind of jumping around and it's not really difficult to kill off, but it's just kind of harder to hit the Arbiter when he's just jumping all over the place. Yeah, it wouldn't even be worth it. Yeah, just go straight across the base. It's only not even worth it, but whatever. Kill that off. Now we're just gonna go down and kind of kill off all of them. That's one thing I don't like about computers. They're really persistent. It's definitely one reason I do like the humans. It's because usually when our main base gets destroyed, they're kind of like, it's not even worth staying around for. And especially if there's kind of like an army like this where they're just gonna keep on attacking you over and over again, and then they're just gonna SOL. I'm saying, you guys aren't even worth my time. Blue has you though. I don't even think there was really anything else to kind of research. Oh yeah, the Cyclops, like I said, are building killers. You can also equip them so that you can use them for healing. For, I guess, additional healing if your heal and repair isn't done recharging yet, but there's not that many people I see actually using Cyclops kind of period. Most forges will probably sit there and build tanks right away and just gonna do it that way. And I can't remember, but Cyclopses are kind of beneficial if you transport and it's kind of unexpected, but personally I don't even think it would be that much worth it once you in later stages of the game. It might kind of be a kind of a good rush if the enemy isn't expecting it and they can't really defend themselves, but other than that, I personally wouldn't use Cyclopses. I definitely think Locust would have the upper hand against them. So that's pretty much all there is for this bonus video that I just did was Captain Forge. Yeah, that's totally what I meant to do. So next bonus episode, I'll show you guys Exile, and I'll be doing it with the Brute Chieftain. So until the next video, see you guys later, and have a good day, everyone.